for so many other options. I think Groundhog's Day, top tier holiday. You know, there's no marketing, there's no decorating, it just like happens. And people are like, all right. There's no God, there's just a groundhog that tells the future. Right? And maybe you can tell I'm not a big fan of holidays. I think now they're just like hype and capitalism and tradition, and I'm good on all that. And there's also sometimes presents, and I don't like getting presents. I think part of it is my fear of not being truly understood. Like, I just feel like I try to be who I am really hard all the time. So if someone I care about gives me a present and I don't like it, feels like a failed human connection. And I think I take it harder than I should. Like, recently a homie of mine gave me some coasters that he made. And I was like, what about me makes you think that I respect surfaces? There's not a surface in my house I care about. I can think back to like 4th grade, we were moving to another house, and my mom made me scrape the boogers off the wall by my bed before we moved. Exhibit A. But if you need a like more recent, relatable example, this was a couple years ago. I was in Cambodia, and you know when you've been like traveling for 3 weeks and you don't have nail clippers and your toenails are super long and they're driving you nuts. So you're at this 2,000-year-old Buddhist temple and you just start filing your toenails on ancient rock. And yeah, your big toe does get pretty infected. But at least when you push on it, pus sprays out and hits your glasses. It's a happy ending. So you know how I know that I was born in the exact right time? It's because we are in peak glasses right now. And I'm a glasses guy. I've had them since 3rd grade. There's a brief period when I had contacts in high school, and then I used a contact case that I guess I'd put the cleaner for my nose piercings in. So when I put the contacts in my eyes, they burned off my corneas, and I had to go back to glasses, which is fine. You know what I'm saying though, like peak glasses. For thousands of years, humans did not have glasses, right? Maybe like the last 200, like glasses, technology is getting better, people's eyes are getting worse. But now there's new technology, there's like LASIK and stuff, so like glasses use is gonna go down. So we're in the golden age right now. So I'd like to propose a toast. To all the visually impaired people, if you could raise the glasses. To the most socially acceptable physical disability. So what if I told you that was just a ploy to let the other people in the audience like steal from you? I would never sell out my own people like that, but I do like to have like possible crime in the back of my head at all times. Like, I was really bummed when during COVID, so Hy-Vee got rid of their blood pressure cuff machine. Which sucked because I always thought like if it came to that, I could always rob somebody while they were getting their blood pressure taken. And if you think I have a hard time telling the difference between right and wrong, you should see me with right and left. I think part of it is because I'm ambidextrous, which means I have bisexual hands. Which is like a curse and a gift. So in addition to not liking gifts, I'm not a big fan of compliments. Like I'll like, if someone's like, oh, I like this joke or something, like, that's cool, we connected there, but I also like, if a compliment's like so weird to remember it years later. Like, one time I was at the laundromat and this woman came up to me and she was like, I wish I had some alcohol so that I could work up the courage to beat you up and steal your pants. And I just love like the gulf in between like what she said and what she meant. Because what she meant was nice pants, right? And what she she said is, I want to physically assault you instead. But it's not like nice pants is always the easy answer either, because a couple weeks ago, a coworker of mine came in and he was wearing these, I would say, uncharacteristically flowy linen pants. And I said, nice pants. And he was like, yeah, I scalded my balls when I was making coffee earlier. And my other coworker was like, you guys just said thanks. But speaking of balls, so my biggest regret changed recently. For many, many years, it was that I didn't buy these California raisin lawn statues at the Goodwill Depot in Davenport. And they were just like really sturdy, they were painted. I was gonna say life size, but they weren't this big. They were like Cocker Spaniel sized, you know, and just like over the years, I just keep thinking of them as like the ones that got away, you know. But recently that was replaced because my boyfriend got a vasectomy. Yeah. And the vasectomy, it was in Des Moines at 8:30 in the morning on a Monday, which means, you know, you gotta leave at 7:30. Which means you gotta get up at 6:45. So when he was making the appointment, I was like, make sure you can drive yourself, because I'm not gonna get up that early. And I might have like reiterated that a couple times, you know, over the next couple weeks, because the secret to a good relationship is communication. But it wasn't just getting up early, you know, it's like, I don't remember him coming along for my abortion or like getting my IUD implanted. So let's go through the best birth controls. Number one, obviously, sex with women, right? Or folks with vulvas. Yeah. Number two, IUD, because you don't get a period and you can just act like a man. And by act like a man, I mean not plan ahead. So, this is one time I was on this road trip to California, or San Francisco with some friends, and got my period, and we're in the city, and the traffic is so crazy there. So it was like heavy traffic, heavy flow, cars were not moving. I'm like, I'm just gonna jump out of the car, change my tampon behind that tree, and come back. So I ran behind that tree, where there were 5 used tampons. I was like, is this the tree? Or is this every tree in California? I don't know, from Iowa, right? Either way, probably good for the soil, right? Third best kind of birth control, vasectomy, because you can drive yourself home afterwards. Which my boyfriend did, but I immediately regretted like not going to support him, you know, I was just like, it's kind of a hard thing. I should have shown that I appreciated what he was doing. But also, I could have watched his scrotum get sliced into by the doctor, which is like watching someone else live my dream with a scalpel, like instead of teeth. I'm a bit of a biter. I think I show a lot of restraint, actually. But I was recently validated when I learned about cute aggression. Have you guys heard of this?
Yes.
My friend told me about it, and by friend I mean podcast host. Do you guys wonder how often when someone says like my friends, like, podcast host? Someone I know, someone who posts on Reddit, you know? But cute aggression is like when you see your friend's English bulldog and you're like, oh, I'm gonna slap him a bunch and like chew on the loose skin on his face. And if you need a visual, I am selling buttons and stickers over here. There's my merch girls, all right? But cute aggression is like cuteness. So you can be a good caregiver. So I would be a good caregiver, is what I get from this. So if anyone's like planning like an afternoon vasectomy, maybe I could go with you. Because I think I've learned, like, the best gifts are experiences. You know, like some friends of mine recently had a baby, and I was like, will you let your baby get a farmer's tan and show it to me? Because one of my dreams is to see a baby with a farmer's tan. And I know it's not without its risks, but what thing worth doing is, you know. But I do think if you want other people to help make your dreams come true, you need to do that for other people, like whether they know it or not. Like in high school, my friends and I used to go to Warped Tour every year. And one year my friend's mom was driving us, and so his little brother was coming too. And on the ride, he's like, hey, you want some ABC gum? And I was like, sure. And he's like, ha, ABC means already been chewed. I was like, I love already been chewed, and I put it in my mouth. Blew his mind, made his day. Maybe it's like a fetish now, who knows? But since that day, I've chewed so much gum. And maybe that's partly responsible for when I clench my teeth and I've broken some of my teeth. But I feel like I can also trace that back to when I worked with this old guy who sucked and just stressed me out. And I would just try to come up with benign topics to be like, how's daylight savings treating you? And he'd be like, oh, I'm fine, but my wife's like a bitch for 3 weeks afterwards. He was just like an old man bro, you know? And there's so many kinds of bros. At my last birthday party, we had a fire, and we were everyone was talking about is there a movie trilogy that isn't bro-y? So I was thinking in my opinion, best movie trilogy, Dumb and Dumber. Comedy bro, you know? And this is a different movie, but I saw a meme recently. It was what Jim Carrey did in Ace Ventura wasn't alrighty then, and it isn't alrighty now. To the 90s kids. But anyway, the obvious ones Star Wars, Indiana Jones, bro-y, right? Lord of the Rings, nerd bro-y. Matrix, libertarian tech bro-y. Toy Story is kid bro-y. But then, my friend's what about Sister Act? I'm like, oh shit, that might be it. It's are there 3 Sister Act movies? And she's like, well, there's at least 2. Oh no, that's not how trilogies work. But you know what else there's at least 2 of? Beings named Shad, S-H-A-D. I met a guy named Shad recently, and I was surprised because I thought I made that name up when I named my hamster that in 7th grade. And my hamster's full name was Shad FB. It was an acronym. It stood for shit, hell, ass, damn, fuck, bitch. Real 7th grade. What's that? Oh, we're not supposed to swear on this show? Oh. You think I give a Shad FB about the You guys can use that. But I'm a bit of a hamster bro, I guess. I think hamsters are nature's cutest way of showing us how brutal it can be. Because yeah, I've gone to bed having 2 hamsters, and I've woken up with 1.5. Because one just started eating the other one during the night. And now, looking back, I'm that was just cute aggression gone too far. That's why I put him in my mouth. And if you need visual evidence, I've got stickers and buttons. But it did tap into one of my irrational fears, which is resorting to cannibalism too early. In a survival situation, you're you kill and eat your friend and get rescued the next day. Awkward. Which is funny because it's the opposite of my non-fear, dare I say excitement, of having to drink my own pee to survive. I imagine it playing out oh, I'm at a public park. Water fountain's not working. Guess this is it. Drinking my own pee. Someone else is oh no, actually the handle you just gotta. Oh no, that's okay. I'll just drink my own pee, thanks. But I don't know if you thought about it, a little harder with a vagina, right? You gotta have a receptacle. And it's not like dudes where you can just, like, water fountain it. Which I do know about secondhand, because I saw Steve-O from Jackass recently, and his producer was on the show. They were talking about how they'd met. They were filming a show together in like South America. Producer got drunk, fell off a roof into a construction site, wasn't found for a whole day, broke all these bones, punctured his lung, was in the blazing sun. All he could do, pee in his mouth. And everything about that sounds horrible, right? Except, kinda cool. I just think, I don't know, the maneuverability, I just think that's fun. The other night, my boyfriend was on the way home, and I was already there. He's like, oh, I really gotta pee. I was like, let's meet in the backyard, and I can hold your dick and make stuff in the snow. So, we did. It was fun. It's like Jackson Pollock-y, you know, I got excited. But, later that night, I was like, remember when you peed in the yard earlier? He's like, we peed in the yard. I was like, you know what? The real gifts are experiences. It feels really good to feel truly understood. I'm Max Power.